Yo, how's it going, guys? Tribal Links here, and I'm coming back at you with a little more War Robots. This is off the live server, and today I thought I'd do a little something a little bit different. Today I'm actually changing things up quite a bit. I'm gonna do this video to audio instead of audio to video, first of all, and then also we're gonna talk a little bit about some strategies and tactics on the battlefield, as opposed to just checking out some gameplay and seeing what kind of bots I'm running and how they fare on the battlefield, which is really kind of why I do what I do, is just so you can kind of see is this setup worth working for or not. So instead of doing that, we're going to talk a little bit of tactics today, and basically we're going to focus on the roles of the battlefield. So in essence, there are 4 roles on the battlefield, and each of these roles is actually very important, and a good balance of these roles is actually what's key to being a dominant team on the battlefield. And so that's why actually squad battles and clan battles are so powerful and potent, is because you know that within your squad or your clan you have all the pieces necessary to take this down. So let's start this off. First of all, you've got your brawler. Right now, your brawler is designed to set up to do heavy damage from very close range. Basically, you're knife fighting as much as possible. So 350 meters, but basically very limited beyond that. And so with the brawler, you're going to want to dive into a situation where you're one-on-one, one-on-two for quick takedowns. But then you want to be back in cover for the rest of your time. You don't want to be out in the open. You don't want to be trying to cross open fields, because that's where you're going to lose most of your hit points. So you want to stick to cover. You want to wait for those opportunities where you can go in and inflict damage and then tuck back into cover and allow things to reload and recharge. The next setup style would be more of a tank. Now, a tank is similar to a brawler, don't get me wrong. You're definitely kind of set up to do some damage and whatnot, but a tank has a slightly different role. Basically, with the tank, what you're trying to do is draw the attention of the opposing team. You want to draw their fire onto you, and that allows your teammate with the brawler to go in and pick off 1 or 2 of them while they're not paying attention to them. It also allows you to protect your beacon cappers. Say they're trying to escape an area where they're under heavy fire. You want to go in there and try and draw as much of that fire on you as possible. So basically, with the tank, what you're looking for is high hit points, a lot of shielding, basically something that can withstand a lot of damage. So Lancelot is pretty good set, and also the Bulwark would be another really good tank. Maybe the Rajin as well. It's a little susceptible to Hydra fire and stuff like that, rockets definitely, but it's also very tanky in terms of close range damage. So these are things to think about when you're doing a tank. Your next one is going to be support. Now, support is also changed because of the introduction of the Wayland and the Mender, the ability to heal your teammates. But as a general rule, support is more about medium to long range damage, and basically what you're trying to do is crowd control. You want to keep your opponents in cover as much as you can. You want to limit the number of opponents that are coming close to your teammates, and you want to weaken them before they get to your teammates. This has a lot more to do with target selection than the other two. The other two being close range, you have a general idea of what's going on close at hand, but with a support bot, what you're looking to do is choose the right target to be effective and efficient in the battle. And so you got to be a little more careful about who you're picking off and who you're shooting at, but I guess it also depends on the weapons that you're using. In terms of that, I really like the Scourge as a support weapon. based on the fact that if necessary, it can be used in brawling situations. Though I think now that I think now I would actually look at the Bulgasari as opposed to the Hachi. Just that physical shield is going to allow you to brawl a lot more. The Hachi is nice. It does protect you from Hydras and gives you reaction time in terms of organs and stuff. But I don't know. It's a toss-up on those two. It depends more on what you're facing day to day. The final setup, I think, would have to be the Beacon Capper. Now, the Beacon Capper is a light fast bot, and so it's not really capable of doing a lot more than capturing beacons. Something like the Strider, the Kamiho, these are good beacon cappers. The Pursuer, that's the one I'm trying to think of. The Pursuer can also fill a role as a brawler, as long as you are maintaining that one-on-one target takedown and back to cover sort of gameplay as a brawler. You can definitely brawl with a Pursuer, but it does really make a good beacon capper. And the reason beacon capping is so important is because oftentimes your teammates are too busy trying to deal with opponents, and if they know that they have someone on their team that's taking care of the capturing of the beacons in the background, then they can go on and keep working the opposing bots. It also means that there are situations where sometimes a beacon has been decapped or even captured by an opposing team out of range, out of walking distance of some of your teammates, though they managed to take it down with support units. And so having a beacon cap or something really quick can go back there, recap that beacon, instead of my Lancelot having to plod all the way back to a back corner beacon to recap it. So you know, it's definitely something that that is kind of overlooked on the battlefield, but is actually pretty important. And so I think that about covers it as far as the 4 roles go. And hopefully the video that I add to this will be a little more, will help clarify things a little bit as well. And so maybe this will kind of help you as you decide what kind of setups you want to run, what kind of setups you want to build, and it may also help to focus you on the battlefield in terms of, you know, what you're doing, because a lot of times I find myself as well, I get a little carried away and I start to forget what my role is, and I start to do things that maybe I shouldn't do. And these are the times where then afterwards I realize, hey, that was pretty stupid of me. And so maybe these will help to kind of clarify and focus what you're looking to achieve on the battlefield, and maybe bring along some more wins for y'all. And if nothing else, some more silver, and you know, let's hope that they start to fix some of the damage that they did here in the game. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. For now, thanks for tuning in, thanks for showing up. This is Tribal Links, and we're signing.